Welcome. Hola. Happy Thursday, everyone. Roll out your mats. I've had to dust mine off a little bit. I usually roll it up after practice, but it's been staying out, and so it gets a little dusty. So finding your way to your mat. Go and grab a couch cushion or, a couch cushion or a block as well, if you have a block or some sort of a block-shaped household item that has enough weight. I mean, like I use mason jars sometimes that acts as a block. Just get creative for your home practice. You toss me a yellow cushion. The goals of living in a 500 square foot apartment, everything's really close. So, we are going to start tonight on our backs. And just have your block handy and your cushion handy and some water handy. And take all of your items to your mat, and we'll start reclined down on the back. And we're gonna play tonight. And so those of you that have come to my classes in real life know that I love to play. And I think play is just what the doctor ordered. So we're gonna have just a little bit of fun tonight. Go lie down. Go on. So making your way to your mat with your cushion, your block, your water, your anything else that you need. anybody just arriving, grab a couch cushion and a block if you have one, or some sort of an equivalent like a mason jar or a book, and make your way onto your mat, and we'll start reclined. And we're gonna play tonight. And I jumped on live after class last night to read a very unique definition of fear. And I'm gonna read it again as we start because I'm obsessed. And those of you that come to my classes know that I tend to repeat things that I'm in love with because they sink in. Every time we read something or we conceptualize something, we start to really let it permeate into ourselves. It's my book there. So making your way onto your back. And because we are embracing the spirit of play this evening with our practice, I want to read to you a very unique description of fear. Kind of relevant for what's going on right now, I think, just a little bit. So this is a description. This description comes from a glossary of a very spiritual, very old ancient text. And the description is the author's. But it's a very unique way of looking at fear from a more subtle place, from an energetic place. So lie down, make yourself comfortable, close your eyes. And as you are relaxing the body, I just want you to listen. Fear, an obscurer of consciousness, which paralyzes man's will and saps his strength, thereby attracting exactly those things that he is afraid of. A human heart in a state of fear loses its radiations and envelopes itself in an ashen gray mist which extinguishes the fires within. At the same time, the aura, being devoid of vibrations, seems to congeal. So this is speaking about, from an auric perspective, what fear actually does to our aura. And to help those of you that are more kind of reality-based and science-minded, the aura is the electric magnetic frequency of the heart. So you can look to companies like Heart Math to describe scientifically what the aura is. That's kind of the route I needed to take to digest a lot of this at the beginning. So fear is, first of all, a thought, which in turn influences human consciousness. Therefore, it is possible to eliminate fear by another fearless thought. If the thought of fear enters the human aura, its energy essence attempts to stay there as long as possible. And this means vibrating and receiving sustenance through causing anxiety about anything, just so as to maintain perpetual motion within itself. That is why fear has many faces and why its guises are so diverse and deceptive. Just one tiny hint of fear begins to pull in other fear-vibrating hints from space. In this way, the originating thought flows from one form into another, turning man into its slave. Each black flash of fear only serves to reinforce the darkness. So one can only imagine how much sustenance is supplied to the dark hierarchy, for example, by the single viewing of a horror movie in a cinema. Alertness and caution are not fear, but the exact opposite. The protecting of oneself from the influence of fear thoughts the darkness uses to saturate space. So I wanted to read that to start us off because we're going to play a little bit with some poses that might cause a little fear. And not to mention, fear seems to be the general vibration of our communities right now. And I think it's such a beautiful and profound way to look at fear. as being this force of darkness that alters consciousness. And so let's together move this fear out of our vibration tonight. So again, we're lying down flat on the back. And from your back, start to pull your knees into your belly. For a nice big hook. Allowing your hips to lift and lower. Now we'll bring our hands to our shins. And we'll start to move with the breath just a little bit here so that when we breathe in, we pull the knees to the forehead or the nose. And then when we exhale, we lower the hips, lower the shoulders. Inhale, draw the knees to the nose. Exhale, lower. Again, inhale, knees to nose. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lifting knees to nose. Exhale, lower. Again, knees to nose. Now hold here if you can. Draw those knees in. And this time, extend the arms straight in the air. And then as you lower down, just lower the hips and keep the arms raised. And draw your wrists back into a flex. So almost as if you were trying to put flat hands on the ceiling. Now keep your toes together and draw your knees apart. And on your next breath in, lift your knees to your elbows. Exhale, lower. This is your hint, by the way. Inhale, knees to elbows. Exhale, lower. 3 more. Inhale to lift the knees. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last time. Inhale, lift the knees. Exhale, lower. Hello. Hello. Now, plant the soles of the feet down onto the mat. And you can go ahead and reach for either your couch cushion or your block or both. And we'll lift the hips and place the bolster, the block, underneath. And extend the legs straight. And start to connect with your breath here. Feel your belly rise and fall. Notice how that core that we've just engaged starts to expand on the breath in. Last few big belly breaths. Perhaps taking all of your distractions at home into your practice. Nice big breath here. And then start to bend into the knees. And we'll pull them into the belly once more with hips lifted. And just let your hips roll side to side. Now we'll find a nice big breath in. Place the soles of the feet down. Lift the hips. Remove the block to the side, but let's keep the hips lifted for 3, for 2, and 1. Very slowly, bone by bone by bone, rolling down. Lifting the feet. Taking hands just behind the knees and rocking and rolling all the way up to seated. And from your seated position, finding your breath. we're going to meet on hands and knees. Sorry, technical difficulties. So hands and knees, tabletop. And from your tabletop position, let's move through 5 rounds of cat-cow, stacking your wrists under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. And on your inhales, you'll lift your tailbone, let your belly drop low, pull your heart forwards. And then the exhale, round your spine, chin towards the chest. Inhale to lift the tail, pull the heart through. Exhale, round. Adding any additional movements, swaying side to side if you like as you move through. Allow your next few rounds to be really concentrated on the core. Expanding as we move into our cow face or cow pose. And really contracting navel to spine as we push up into cat. Last exhale, rounding the spine. From here, untuck the toes and sit your hips back to your heels. Extend your arms forward and melt your heart, your forehead down towards the mat for child's pose. Knowing that child's pose is a place that you can come at any point in your practice when you are feeling that you just need to catch your breath, to take a break, or just to honor your body. Notice the expanse and the contraction of your breath cycles moving in and out. Now from here, in your child's pose, look forward, lift your hips, retuck your toes, lift knees, and hover with your knees lifted. And see if you can just hover here, pressing back into sort of a hovering child's pose. Okay, so we're gonna stay low. Think about tucking your tail, drawing your navel to your spine, and then shifting forward to almost like a hovering table. And then exhale, hovering child's pose. Inhale, hovering table. Exhale, hovering child's pose. Inhale, hovering table. And with your next exhale, downward dog. And take your time in your first downward dog to bend into your legs. Maybe lift and lower your heels. And just explore the sensations of the body. What are you feeling like tonight? Explore the shoulders and their proximity to the ears. Can you draw them away from the ears? You might even lift and lower one leg and then the other leg. Just taking any and all movements that feel really inviting in the body tonight. Breathing in and out through your nose. And now is a great time to start to activate your ujjayi breath. So it's that slight constriction of the back of the throat that when you exhale, it's almost like fogging up a pane of glass, but with your mouth closed. So it's a really powerful exhale. And so your inhales come through normally, your exhales kind of come through that constriction, and we keep the pulse moving. We keep that rhythmic breathing. Find another 5 breaths. Deepening your inhales and lengthening your exhales. Ribs expand and contract. All of the weight into your thumb and your index fingers. Big breath here. And then as you exhale, bring your knees down. And see if you can shift forward. Knees are down. Your shoulders will come just beyond your wrists. Tuck your tail. Feel your navel lift. And as you exhale, bend your elbows to 90 degrees. So see how your elbows will bend. You'll have to lower your shoulders then. Hold here. Exhale, press back up. Okay, so we're just going to work on activating the arms. Bend the elbows 90 degrees. Your shoulders have to lower. Exhale, press up. Press into all your little fingertips as well. Exhale, bend. Press back up. Big breath here. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press back up. Last time, exhale, lower 90 degrees. And then come all the way to the belly from here. Untuck your toes. Take your palms and either place them under your shoulders or wide elbows. As you breathe in, roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Lift your heart. And as you exhale, start to lower all the way back. Palms beside ribs, toes tucked. Send your hips back, child's pose. Downward facing dog. Breathing in and out through your nose. Ujjayi breath, that audible exhale. With your next inhale, look forward and start to walk your feet to meet your hands at the top of your mat, folding over your legs, really hinging from your hips. And so the belly or the ribs come towards the thighs as we relax the head, neck, and shoulders down. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows. Let your breath be full and just notice any sensations here. Last big breath in. Release your arms long. Send your weight into your heels and drag. Heavy arms, heavy head, neck, and body all the way up to standing. Turn your palms forward to face the front. Look down, lift and spread the toes so feet are wide and we're placing all the weight into the foredges of the feet. Lift your pubis bone, draw your navel up and back. Palms face forward, shoulders up, back, and down. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel into your core space. And feel the expansion on the inhale, the contraction on the exhale, the amount of strength that we are cultivating here. Now open the eyes. And as we inhale, sweep the arms to the sky. Exhale to fold forward, belly to thighs. Inhale, palms to shins. Pull your heart forward, straight spine. Hips shift back. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, and step back to plank pose. In your plank pose, your shoulders stack your wrists. Your knees are straight or down, your choice. And as we exhale, let's shift forward and lower. Find that 90 degrees, whether knees are down or legs are straight. And then come all the way to the belly. Untuck the toes, press the tops of the feet down into the mat. Palms under shoulders, lift the heart. Find your breath here in your cobra. Exhale, lower. Palms beside ribs, tuck the toes. Knees down or straight legs, press back to that 90 degrees. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Find your breath. On your inhale, look forward. And step or hop to the top. Forward fold, belly to thighs. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, lifting halfway straight spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise all the way up. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhaling to lift halfway. Exhale to fold, plant the hands again, step back to your plank. Knees down or straight legs, your choice. We're gonna exhale to that 90 degrees, pinch the ribs with the elbows, and then wherever you are, all the way to the belly, or untuck the toes, lower the hips, lift the heart. So finding your inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, send the hips back. downward dog. Reconnect to your breath. Now this 90-degree transition is how we should always be moving in and out of our vinyasa. We never want to let the hips just sink down, taking us into upward facing dog. We want to have slow, controlled, strong movements. From here, inhale, look forward, step, hop, or float to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Lifting halfway, breathe in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back. Big breath in, knees down or straight legs. Exhale, 90 degrees. Hold here, pinch the elbows. And then untuck the toes, lower the hips, lift the heart, cobra or upward facing. Exhale, send the hips back, downward dog. And a nice big breath here. And as you exhale, let your knees come down. Send your hips back. And we're gonna turn fingertips so that we can stretch out the wrists and the hands. So fingertips come down towards the body. Flipping the wrists and the forearms up towards the sky. And just stretch those wrists out here. Notice the sensation. Breathing in and out through the nose. At any point that you feel that you need water or anything, go ahead. Not that I need to give you permission, you're in your own home. I hope that you feel comfortable to do so. Find your breath. All right, now let's release the hands. We're gonna turn palms up to the sky and place our forearms down. And from here, I really want you to think about pressing down into the backs of the palms. We're gonna tuck the toes and we're gonna lift the hips. So really pressing into the outer edges of the hand if possible. It's gonna be really hard to bring the thumb edge down, but really press into the forearms and the back of the hand. Find your breath here, just giving those wrists a little bit of a break. Now could you soften your knees and shift your shoulders forwards to stack your elbows. Big breath here. And then exhale, bring the knees down. Sit back, child's pose. Inhale and exhale. When you're ready, we'll make our way back into downward facing dog. Toes tuck, knees lift, hips come back. And on our next breath in, sweep your right leg to the sky. Now see if you can lower the left heel and lower the right hip so that it's in line with the left. So our hips tend to lift automatically. Lower that hip. On your next breath in, your right knee pulls forward towards your right elbow. See if you can make connection. Exhale, kick back. Inhale, right knee, right elbow. Exhale, extend. Inhale, right knee, right elbow, hold. Exhale, extend. This time, right knee in towards the center, round the spine, step, hop, or physically help that right foot through. From here, lower your back heel down and in. So there's a bit of a 45-degree angle for the back foot. Arms, eyes, warrior one. Now see if you can draw your right shoulder back, aligning right ribs and left ribs. Right shoulders with left shoulder. And sink into your right knee. Ensuring that right knee lines up with right hip, not towards the center of the mat. And you're still breathing with that ujjayi breath in and out through the nose as you press into the outer edge of your back foot. See if you can straighten up that back leg. Find a big breath in. As you exhale, reach your straight arms forwards, forwards, forwards. And let's see how low we can go. Can we bring right shoulder towards right knee? And then as we exhale, let's swim the arms back and start to rise. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward, 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 right shoulder towards right knee. Inhale, sweep the arms back. Exhale to rise. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, reach forward, 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 forward. Hold here for 3, for 2, for 1. Plant the hands, lift the back heel, step back, plank pose. Now you know where we're going. Knees down our straight legs, 90 degrees, hold. Untuck the toes, lower the hips, lift the heart, breathe in. Exhale, downward dog. Again, when you're ready, left leg rises. So again, we want to lower the left hip. You'll know if that hip is lifted. It's a little easier for the body most of the time. So lower that left hip in line with right. Look forward, and on your inhale, bring your left knee to your left elbow. See if you can touch it. Exhale, extend. Inhale, left knee, left elbow. Exhale, extend. Inhale, left knee, left elbow. Hold. Exhale, extend. This time, left knee into the belly, round the spine, step, hop, or help left foot through. Find your warrior 1 position for your legs. So back heel, down and in, 45 degrees, arms rise. And your left shoulder pulls back in line with your right, palms face one another. Left knee lines up with left hip as we sink deep. Watch your ribs, they tend to lift here. Tuck the ribs in, find your core strength. Straighten up that back leg if you can. Press into the outer edge of the back foot. Big breath in. And then exhale, reach, 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 reach. Left shoulder towards the inside of left knee, maybe. Exhale, swing the arms back. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, reach, reach, reach. Big breath in. And then exhale, swim the arms back. Inhale to rise. Exhale, reach. Finding an inhale as you hover left shoulder towards left knee. Exhale, sweep back. Inhale, arms rise. Last time, exhale, reach, 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 and hold. Find your inhale. And then plant the hands, lift the back heel, step back to plank. Find a big breath in, knees down or straight legs. Exhale, 90 degrees. And then find your back bend. Inhale to lift the heart. And exhale to send the hips back. 5 breaths in your downward facing dog, or child's pose, or water, or bathroom break, or whatever you need. So we've activated some of the spaces in the body that we are going to use to tackle a little bit of fear. And remember the quote or the definition that I read at the beginning talks about replacing fear with fearlessness. So we're going to cultivate that sense of fearlessness together tonight. So your arms are engaged, your shoulders are strong. And we'll start to meet back in that downward facing dog if you're not there now. And we're gonna look forwards on an inhale. Step, hop, or float to the top. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, straight spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now reach for your couch cushion or pillow or whatever. Block is helpful here as well. But this couch cushion is going to be your safety net. This is your reason for fearlessness. And we're going to step behind it. Take your feet a little wider, turning your toes outwards. Bring the palms together to touch. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And then as you exhale, let's really slowly bend the knees, like micro bend. And I want you to move as slowly as you can. We're going to sink down eventually into Malasana. But I want you to really notice, maybe close your eyes. Notice what is happening. In all the ways that your body is imploring the right muscles to get involved for this slow descent down. And if you're really paying attention, you can feel various muscles turn on at different times. Now, once you've sunken down, the block is there if you need something to sit on. Let's see if we can really lift the heart into this Malasana, garland pose. Close the eyes and let your breath move in and out through the nose. And we're going to practice 5 rounds of lion's breath, which is another aspect of fearlessness. And so if you've never practiced lion's breath before, it's really, really fun. And so think of a lion in the jungle. And on your exhales, you're going to open your mouth as wide as you can, stick your tongue out as long as you can. And it's sort of something like this. Just like a lion. So we're going to practice 5 rounds of that. Let's take a clearing round of breath in together. Breathe in, lift and lengthen. Exhale, sigh it out. All right, lion's breath. Breathe in. Exhale. Inhale. Release. Last 3, breathe in. Breath in. Last big breath. Don't you feel fearless already? So from here, look down at your couch cushion. You're going to place your hands down. You might have to shuffle your hips back. Come up onto your heels. And we're just going to play with the idea of crow. And this might not be anything more than just cultivating more core strength. So we're going to start out like this. Palms placed down about pillow width apart. So a little wider than your shoulders. Now, it's helpful from here if we can start to just shift our weight forward and just feel the weight go into the hands. And you'll notice with your hips low that when you shift forward, your knees kind of come towards your elbows. And so as you can imagine, that's not really an ideal place to be putting any pressure on those fragile little joints. So what we'll do next is we'll lift the hips. And this is where your forward fold really comes in handy, because if you can see, there is a complete hinge in half from the hips. And with hips lifted, I'm going to start to just bring my heels a little higher and rock forward to take my knees towards triceps and then backwards lowering the heels. So you can lift the heels, send your weight forward into hands, tuck your tail, press your knees into your triceps, and then exhale, shift back. And let's move with this just a few times. So when I give these stages, you might very well just take the first one and never stray from that. And that alone is going to provide a lot of the muscle memory that you'll need to advance. If you're feeling pretty good, maybe one of the times that you shift forward, you might play with a micro bend at your elbows and maybe seeing if your shins or knees will rest on the arms. One knee might lift, or one heel rather, maybe the other. And again, if we fall, the pillow is right here. Now, if you need a little bit of extra assistance, and you have a block or a book, you can create a little perch, and that helps get your hips just a little bit higher. And so, from here, it's a little bit easier to lift those hips and find your crow pose. So find a few more breaths. And if crow is in your practice, and you're feeling like you can hold it for a good amount of time and you're building strength, you might play with the eventual transition from crow to chaturanga. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. But from your crow pose, we're gonna step back to plank. So finding your way into your plank pose. Knees down or straight legs. Exhale 90 degrees. And then untuck the toes, finding your cobra or your upward facing. Exhale, send the hips back, downward dog. Inhale and exhale through the nose. Wide spread hands. Your next breath in, lift your right leg. Bring your knee into your belly, round your spine, step, hop, or help. Right foot forward. Spin your back heel down. Open up for warrior two. Arms rise, warrior two. Big breath in. As we exhale, straighten the right leg. Turn all 10 toes to face the left side of the mat. And a big breath here. And as we exhale, start to fold forward. So just relaxing into your forward fold, shifting one hip and then the other. Maybe even turning the backs of the hands down. And perhaps even walking them slightly forward, finding a nice, beautiful counter for the wrists here. Hips can move side to side. Just allow those wrists to release tension. Deepening your inhales and lengthening your exhales. Stay with your breath. We're going to play with one more variation of crow. And a big breath in. And then as you exhale, bring your hands back up to your hips. Rise all the way up. Let's even things out. So turn your left toes now to be the front of the mat. Warrior two on the other side. Give your wrists a little bit of a roll here in your warrior. And a nice big breath in. Exhale slowly. And then inhale, straighten left leg. Turn the toes. We're going to walk the feet together in the middle of the mat. Now you can have your pillow handy. We're going to come down into a nice low squat just on our heels. Now for side crow, we have a little bit of a twist to do. So we're going to play with that ability to twist into this first. Bring your palms together at your heart. Lift and lengthen your spine, and then twist towards the right. And so from here, see if you can look down and plant your hands both down on the mat. And we want both hands placed on the mat. And then what we want to consider is that the left elbow is going to hold the right thigh, the right knee, and the right elbow is going to hold the right hip. So from here, what we'll do is we'll lift the hip a little higher and see if we can start to bend the elbows, taking elbow to hip, right elbow to hip. Okay, so just playing with this, and maybe toes lift, maybe not. Now the nice thing about side crow is that you can actually bring your forehead down towards the mat and work with fallen angel, lifting one leg. Find your breath wherever you are. It's just for fun anyways, because we're just playing. So there's no pressure. And if nothing else, we work a really great deep core twist into our practice. Breathing in and out. And when you're ready to release this side, we can just turn our knees to face the other way. And find our twist on the other side. So palms at the heart. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, twist left. And then plant the hands down. And right away, it's easier to kind of catch that left knee with the right elbow. And it's more difficult, I think, to lift the hips and somehow bring that left hip to the left elbow. So seeing if we can find that connection. And then maybe we send all of our body weight onto bent elbows. Or maybe we bring the head down for fallen angel. So just take a few more breaths. We're just playing around. And I know sometimes it seems next to impossible, and it's always next to impossible until it's not. And that's just the reality of progress, really. And the only way that I have learned in my own practice how to do advanced poses is by approaching them playfully. When you feel done with that side, just release it. We'll move through a final flow to flush some of this energy out of the body. And so, meeting in your downward facing dog. Lift your heels, come forward to plank, inhale. Exhale, move through your vinyasa, lifting your heart on your breath in. And then take your hips back to child's pose. And turn your palms to the sky. Let your breath move in and out through the body. And a nice big breath in. And as you exhale, drag your arms back until you're seated on your heels. From here, let's just take a minute to give the wrists a little bit more love. So, taking your right arm forward, palm to the sky. Let's grab a hold of the pinky finger and pull it back towards the wrist line. Just notice the sensation. Now release pinky and move your way inwards. Just noticing the unique sensation of every pullback. Releasing the ring finger, taking middle. Releasing the middle, taking the pointer or the index. I don't know why this one has two names. And then releasing that one, let's grab the thumb from the top, turn the thumb to the sky, and then pull it back. And then same thing on the other side, palm to the sky, left hand. Grab the pinky, pull it back. Grab the ring finger, pull it back. Grab the middle, pull it back. Pointer, pull it back. Thumb to the sky, pull it back. And then release, let's shake the wrists right out. Side to side, up and down, flap your wings. And just feel the tension release from the wrists here. This is actually a beautiful way to move energy out of the body. And if you buy into this idea of energy being, emotions being energy in motion, then you can imagine this is a great way to change your emotional vibration. All right, so from here, we'll start to make our way down onto the back. Taking your time. And we'll meet with knees bent. Pulling them nice and close towards our sit bones. And then bend the elbows, take your fingers to the sky. And on a big breath in, lift your hips. And just use your arms to help lift the hips. You can even lift the heels here for a little bit of a nicer sensation. And then just breathe into your belly, that beautiful core that has taken us through practice. Big breath here. And then exhale very, very slowly, lower down. Bringing knees into the belly for a nice big hug. Lifting and lowering the hips and just rocking side to side. Now, if there's any additional poses that your body is craving here, like a little twist or happy baby or some form of an inversion, please feel free to take it. And just starting to calm the mind. Noticing how as we slow down, the mind tends to resume, knowing that we're close to the end. And for whatever reason, we tend to jump moment to moment to moment to moment to every single thing that we experience. And so before we're even done our dinner, for example, we're thinking, ooh, what's for dessert? I want something sweet. And it's always going, looking for another thing to experience, another sensory experience. And we can get really hung up in this way on never really fully being able to be present. And so forget everything else that tonight holds and just be here now. And as your mind tries to pull you away from now, drag it back. It's almost like this arm wrestle that you have with yourself internally. Right now, and any now moment, deserves your full, undivided attention. And I say that as someone who is working on that daily, being pulled into social media and millions of conversations happening on the side and not being able to be present. It's a moment to moment to moment practice. And when your body feels complete, make your way into your variation of Shavasana, which can be child's pose tonight if you like. It can be fetal position. It can be traditional Shavasana, whatever you like. If you'd like to extend legs up to the sky or maybe even stick your legs up the wall, it's a beautiful way to close your practice. And as we are resting, I'm going to leave you yet again with another piece of presence from this book called Oneness with All Life by Eckhart Tolle. With awareness comes disidentification from thoughts, emotions, and reactions. This is not to be confused with denial. The thoughts, emotions, or reactions are recognized. And in the moment of recognizing, disidentification happens automatically. Your sense of self, of who you are, then undergoes a shift. Before, you were the thoughts, emotions, reactions. Now, you are the awareness, the conscious presence that witnesses those states. Emotions and even thoughts become depersonalized through awareness. Their impersonal nature is recognized. There is no longer a self in them. They are just human emotions, human thoughts. Your entire personal history, which is ultimately no more than a story, a bundle of thoughts and emotions, becomes of secondary importance and no longer occupies the forefront of your consciousness. It no longer forms the basis for your sense of identity. You are the light of presence, the awareness that is prior to and deeper than any thoughts or emotions. I'll take a picture of that and post it after. You are not your thoughts, you are not your feelings. And that is a powerful thing to not only remember, but to practice that disidentification when we feel fear. And we think for a moment, I'm fearful. But then we can remember this, am I fearful or am I experiencing fear? So I am not fear, I'm witnessing fear. Thank you so much for joining me for another weekly yoga, virtual yoga. Rest here in your Shavasana for as long as you need to. And I will see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Namaste.